What's up, heroes? Happy Halloween and welcome to the Producer Life Podcast, episode 87. Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays. As a kid, I always looked forward to it and I would always put a lot of effort into my costumes and dressing up and, I guess I never quite grew out of it because, well, here I am today. But the reason that's on my mind is I just completed this amazing gig at Line Creek Brewing in Peachtree City, Georgia. I'm going to break that down in a future episode as a mobile DJ gig and talk about what went well and what didn't. But overall, I couldn't be happier, and I just want to thank the venue and everybody that showed up for a terrific evening. But today, I want to focus on our guest. We're joined by Kofla. He's a Colombian drummer who brings groovy Latin vibes to his tech house tracks, and he has been tearing up clubs all over Atlanta. Over the course of the interview, we talk about his background and influences, his production and remixing workflow, and he shares his thoughts on getting started in a new city and working with promoters. Before we get to the interview, I want to thank Melodics.com for sponsoring the podcast. If you've ever marveled at someone who's finger drumming or playing the keyboard and wished, man, I wish I could do that, Melodics is the way to get there and have fun while you're doing it. Melodics.com offers a desktop app that makes it fun to learn to finger drum, play the keyboard, or even play the drums. And you can probably use whatever MIDI controller you've got right now or keyboard because it works with just about anything. The Melodics app helps you to quickly learn because it's available anytime on your schedule, and it makes the learning really fun through gamification with things like streaks, records, and levels. They also have a ton of different backing tracks to select from, so you can speed things up or slow things down just depending on where you are. So give it a try. They've got 60 free lessons for you at no cost. Grab that dusty old MIDI controller that you tossed in your closet, pull it out, and just give it a shot. From there, if you like what you're doing and you want to subscribe to unlock additional premium content, you can use Producer Life-20. That's, again, Producer Life-20, and that'll get you 20% off of an annual subscription or 20% off of a monthly subscription for the first 3 months. And I really appreciate it. That helps to support the podcast. Now, cue the intro music.
This is the Producer Life Podcast with your host, the House Ninja. Bringing you actionable ideas to improve your music and get it heard.
All right, Kofla, welcome to the Producer Life Podcast.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to be here.
I'm excited. This is going to be a good conversation, and you are the second Atlanta-based producer that I've had on the show. First one being David Lopez, who was on a little while ago. So, welcome again.
Good, man. Good. Sounds good. Like let's do it.
So you've got a pretty unique background. I understand you are originally from Colombia.
Yes, I'm originally from Colombia, city of Barranquilla, Colombia, but all my life I raised in Bogota.
Okay, what's Bogota like?
It's nice. The techno scene is big. It's cold. People like to party a lot. It's been growing up since years. Bogota, I think Bogota and Medellin, those are like the big cities in the electronic music scene.
Okay. And is that where you got started with production while you were in Bogota, or were you just enjoying the parties there and then got into production later?
Well, yeah, I started producing when I was like 15 years old, and I started making like EDM, big room, those big festivals music, like Tiesto and stuff. That's why I started producing that kind of music. Yeah.
So what made you decide to shift to techno?
Well, I don't know. I think like when I was like growing up and stuff, and then I discovered some good producers. I remember one of my first house music producers that I heard was Dennis Cruz. And then I started like listening more Spain DJs, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing. This is like really underground, really good. I don't know. I just fell in love with the house music.
Okay. And how did you come to Atlanta?
So my dad he's a singer, and he came first because somebody gave him a job like singing here and stuff. So he came here first, and then he say like, okay, this is a good place to stay. So then he brought us, all my family, here. It was like 5 years ago. Came to Atlanta.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you come from a musical family.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, almost all my family are into music. My dad is not into EDM, but he's like salsa, merengue, more like Latin stuff, you know?
Okay. And obviously that's had a big influence on the sound of your music.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because some of my tracks I use some cultural Colombian style and stuff, and with salsa and merengue. That's why I like to do like to play with those kind of vibes, you know?
Yeah, it's got an awesome, really uh, fun rhythmic pattern to it, and I really like a lot of your tracks, particularly "Me Gusta" too. I'm sure that was
Okay.
not the right pronunciation, but yeah, really cool stuff.
Thank you.
Has your dad collaborated on any tracks with you?
No, it's funny because we've been trying to like 2 years ago, but it's not like we cannot like do it something original, and because sometimes I'm busy, he's busy, and I don't know. I like to do something that I like to make original stuff, but I don't know. We have to do it, but we haven't decided yet what we're gonna do.
Okay. How does the party and club scene differ Bogota to Atlanta?
Hmm. Maybe the late nights, like Bogota, we party till 10 in the morning or 12, or well, that's a point. But in other things, I think is the people, the crowd is more into yeah, I don't know. It's been like 5 years when I since I moved here, and when I was in Bogota, I was 19, 18 actually, and I didn't party too much because I was not into clubs yet, more like concerts and stuff.
Mhm.
I went to just like 3 or 4 techno clubs, and it's different. People are more like into the music. They're like too focused on the music. They're not like jumping or singing, or they're like very enjoying the music. I think it's more like I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of different.
There's more of a focus on the music than maybe the energy.
Yeah, exactly. So people go to the clubs more to listen to music and the DJ. Some of people here just go to the club just because the club just for the vibe. But people in Bogota go more for the DJ and the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I do. So I mentioned one of my favorite tracks of yours, the recent "Me Gusta" too, which is kind of
Mhm.
how would you characterize it? Latin tech house.
Yeah, pretty much Latin tech house. Yes.
Okay. So can you talk? Most of my listeners are producers. Where do you? What's your workflow like? Where do you start with your production, and what sort of equipment are you using, and how do you kind of walk us through building a track from scratch?
Okay. When I started producing, I've been using FL Studio. Um, I know there's a lot of people who've been telling me like you should switch to Ableton or something, but I don't know. It's kind of like starting from scratch. So I've been
Hmm.
working in FL Studio since I started, and I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing like well, like I say, EDM, and 4 years after that, I started making tech house and house music stuff, and I've been working since then. And I always started with the beats, with making some. I love percussion.
Hmm.
I used to be a drummer,
Oh, okay.
and yeah. Oh, yeah. Before EDM, I was listening rock and metal and rock music, punk, and I used to play drums. So that's why I love to incorporate those drums and percussion into my productions. sometimes.
Okay, so you start off with some sort of a drum rack, and then um, look for a groove in your drums first.
Yeah. So the I think the hardest part, the most difficult part is when I start making a beat. That's why I always do starting with some hats, claps, kicks is hard. Um, most of the most difficult part is the bass. So I try to focus more on the beat first, and what I want to do, something original, something like with percussion and stuff. And then when I like it, I keep going with the structure and stuff. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm really complicated because if I make a beat in hours and then I listen to it next day, I can't delete it because if I don't like it, or I can just keep going. And I don't know. Just I'm very complicated. I don't do music I don't release music like just for release it. If I gotta I have to fall in love with that track if I want to release it. That's what I take my time to produce. To make music, I take my time.
I've heard producers and musicians talk about multiple interviews I've heard of where an artist will release something that other people were like, yeah, you ought to release it, and it turns out to be one of their biggest hits, even though they can't. Oh, it was "Smells Like." I read this the other day. Kurt Cobain and "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Are you familiar with that song?
Oh yeah, sure.
One of Nirvana's biggest hits. Kurt Cobain couldn't stand that song, but he released it anyway. So do you ever worry that some of the tracks that you may not release might, do really well, even if you're not crazy about them?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I've been thinking about that. Like, for example, when I show my music to some friends, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't like this song. What do you think? And they told me like, no, this is actually really good. Like, you should do something with it. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't know, I don't keep doing it. I got a couple of tracks that I haven't signed yet, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on them, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know if this is gonna be good or bad or I don't know. For example, that song "Me Gustas Too," I didn't know what to do, and I just signed it with a label from a friend from Colombia, and I think the track has been doing pretty good because a lot of DJs, international and other countries, they play my music. So I was like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't know that's gonna happen, But
Yeah, that's exciting when you can see a lot of traction in other countries. And it's hard to predict where your audience is going to be. So that's although when you've got a Latin track, that it's somewhat predictable. Um, so going back to the production, you get your beat down. You said the bass line is often difficult. What tricks do you have? How do you approach your bass lines? You said you were a drummer, so are you writing everything into a DAW, or are you with your mouse, or are you playing a keyboard until you find something you like?
yeah, pretty much that. Like keyboard with my keyboard, I'm just pressing buttons and not really like that, but like trying to find a good melody. And sometimes I just do it by ear. Sometimes I take, for example, like some of the salsa songs or merengue or some other rhythms, reggaeton or even rock. I I can listen to it and take a little bit of that melody of the bass line and put it on my songs, and that helps me a lot. I just play with it. It's kind of complicated sometimes.
Okay, and then a lot of your tracks feature vocals. Are where do you go for your vocals?
Hmm. Um. Well, Me Gustas too is the vocals is pretty popular in South America and Central America. Uh, um, and I was like, yeah, I was like 8 years old, 9 years old when I listened to it, and someday I just hear it on the radio again when I release it. I hear it on the radio, and I was like, wow, this song is pretty nice. I mean, I should do something with it Sometimes I just download music, like those kind of old vibes, old music, and I play with them. And I was like, okay, let me try do something with it. And that's pretty much how I created that one. Because I like to do music for um, not all people, but um, when people when people listen to it, they're gonna say like, "Oh wow, this is a pretty old song in a house music." So I really like that. I really like it.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you're sampling older songs. Are you finding those vocals on a third party website? Or are you using? There's a couple of different websites where you can license older audio clips from other songs. How are you getting the actual isolated acapellas to use?
Well, I actually I'm using a really nice app. I think it's not an app. It's a page. It's a page called La La Lai. It
I just
was.
heard about that.
Oh, you heard about it? It's pretty good.
I,
It's pretty good.
yeah, I haven't tried it, but it does a good job isolating the vocals.
Yeah, yeah, it does a really good job. I really like it. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Does that cost anything?
Yeah, the thing. I think the first 10 minutes is free, and then 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it's like $10, $20, something like that. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, what I do is work with one song, and then a week after that, I try with other song, and then it's still free.
Okay. Okay. I'll have to try that out. I've used RX8, Isotopes RX8. That does a pretty good job isolating vocals, just sort of depending on the song. And then there's obviously a lot of different websites where you can get, like original,
Okay.
what's the word? Studio acapellas, which is ideal if you can get those.
Isotope, you say?
Isotope RX8. Yeah, it's a desktop app. Isotope frequently runs specials where you can get a good discount if you're a student. They also have a 50% discount for students. So I've got a lot of the different Isotope software, which I like.
That's good. That's good. I haven't heard of it. I heard of Isotope, but I didn't know that it can do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try it,
Isotope
sure.
does all sorts of different mixing and mastering plugins, so they've got some good stuff. I gravitated towards Isotope because of the student discount, as opposed to like Waves, which didn't offer a student discount. So
Okay.
once you've got your acapellas isolated, what's your process for getting that to sit in the mix? Are you writing your bass line to the acapellas? How do you carve out frequencies for it? What is your process for making it stand out in the mix?
Uh, okay. Back to the example of Me Gustas too. The song has already a bass line, so I took it for it. I made a little changes, a couple of changes, and um, for example, I made the track first, and then when I take an acapella, I put it on it, and I try to make some vocal chops. No, not vocal chops. Like I could the vocals to make it like in the beat to sound right on the beat. I moved the pitch to the right key, and what else? Yeah, pretty much I made the track first, and then I choose the right vocal for this track. I
Okay.
have a lot of acapellas on my libraries, and I just use whatever it sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So Me Gusta 2 is actually more of a remix.
Yeah, it's more like a cover, and edit, a house edit. Yeah, it's pretty much
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Awesome. So speaking of covers, you also just released a new track. You've got a techno thriller remix, the
Yes.
Kofla edit, on your SoundCloud right now, available for free download. Tell me a little bit about that track, 'cause it's pretty dope.
Thank you, appreciate it. Well, I made that track. I made that edit like 5 months ago, and I don't know. I was playing with it. I was my parents love Michael Jackson, and me too, actually. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's make something with Michael Jackson. And then it came that song, and then I was about to release it, and then some friends told me like you should wait for October for Halloween, and it'll be a nice release for Halloween. And I was okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. And then I wait for Halloween, and people liked it, so I'm glad that they
Yeah.
like it.
Now, when you say release, you just mean you've just got it on SoundCloud right now. You didn't actually distribute it through like DistroKid or something like that.
Oh no, because I don't know. It was pretty much an edit, so I wanted to give it for free because people can vibe with it and play it, and it was like a Halloween gift. Yeah, like a Halloween gift, because
Yeah.
sometimes I like to just give for free my music. Not all of them, but a couple of songs.
Yeah. Good way to get people's attention. And you got to be careful distributing things. If you don't actually own the rights to the acapella, you didn't license it, then you can get it pulled down, and that's always bad. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's right. That's right. Yeah, because Michael Jackson is pretty popular, so that's why I didn't distribute it because I might have some I co- copyright problems with it.
yeah,
So
I'm pretty sure a few people have heard of him.
yeah.
All right. So, talking about Michael Jackson and Halloween, have you got any big Halloween gigs coming up?
Yeah. I'm actually preparing my sets for this weekend. It's gonna be a fun weekend. It's gonna be pretty
Where
dope.
all are you playing this weekend?
So Friday I'll be playing at Domain Club with some friends. It used to be Opera nightclub, right?
Okay.
I remember that club when I came here. Saturday I'll be playing with my friends from Parallax and Twisted Lines. They make some really good parties. I'll be playing there for Halloween, and Sunday Loca Luna.
Okay. Wow. Busy weekend. Thank you again for carving out some time for the podcast. Um,
No worries.
so what's your process for preparing for a weekend like that? How do you go about picking your music, and how much is your own versus other people's, and what's sort of your thought process when you're selecting tracks?
Well, I'm very picky. I'm very picky with the music, so I take my time. I take my time. Um, I listen sets like mix sets, an hour, 2 hours, like pretty much every day, 24/7. I'm listening music like house music. That's all I'm listening like every day, 24/7. Sets. Sorry, and Beatport. I found some good music on Beatport too. Um, so I'm making my car, and I bought always like I'm always buying new music, and old music too, because I really enjoy the old school house music. That's one of my favorite things, the old school house music. And then when I buy the tracks, um I practice in my room. I have my mixer, my controller, and then I practice a lot for a good set.
Okay. You mentioned Twisted Lines. That's a promoter here in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. It's a collective, right? It's a music collective.
What does that mean? Can you describe that for my listeners? What does that mean?
Yeah, sure. It's a brand. It's a brand who make parties. Like for example, they put Twisted Lines presents Halloween. Halloween. So it's a brand who make parties. They two people, two of my friends, and yeah, they use Twisted Lines for making parties. It makes sense.
Yeah. So how does a music collective differ from a promoter, other than it's several people that are doing it?
Um, Okay, good question. It's so they have the brand and they have a lot. They have a lot of friends like supporting them, and pretty much what DJs do it's promoting those parties because okay they in charge to make the party, make the flyer, um, set up everything. So the DJs we just helping promoting. It's not big. It's not a big thing, but they already got a big following. So their parties are really good, really good. I've been playing with them like a year ago,
Okay.
more like a year. Hmm.
You moved to Atlanta 5 years ago. So how
Yeah.
did you sort of get your foot in the door with the music scene? And you're playing all over the place now. So how did you go about networking and getting gigs? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So 5 years ago, I came here. Um, I've been like since I got here, I've been like hanging out. I've been like by myself. I was going out by myself, meeting new people, everything, and I was like sending my music to promoters, club owners, everything, my sets, my music, and everybody was like not responding me back, nothing. I was trying so hard to be in the music scene, but nobody was like supporting me. So that's why I decided to make my own parties. I had a collective too, a music collective called Groove On, with some friends. We started making like pool parties in friends' house, in one of my friends' house, pool parties, basement parties, like, and then when I was posting that on my social media, that's when people started like um, interested on me, and then some people reach me out and say like, "Hey, bro, like your music is cool, your parties are good," and then that's when I started like in the process of going to clubs and stuff. I really have I had some help for one of my best friends called Rob Session. He helped me a lot to get into the clubs and the music scene. So we've been working together since then. It was like 2 years ago, and 2 years and a half ago, that's when I released my first EP, and then I keep going and working hard on my music and learning new stuff and music production, and then I was releasing more and more music. So then that's why people started like reaching me out more and more because I was like doing good, and then that's how I get in the music scene and clubs and parties and stuff.
Okay. So partly you had Rob was sort of a mentor for you and helped open some doors, but then you were also throwing your own parties. Do you have your own like mobile DJ setup that you were using, or were you renting equipment?
Yeah, we were like renting equipment and stuff. Yeah, just just pretty small controllers with laptops. That's how we started. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, nice. Well, now you're playing at some of the biggest clubs in Atlanta, and 3 gigs in a weekend. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, of the venues you've played at, do you have favorites, and what makes a good venue to play in versus a more challenging one?
Okay. I have a couple of favorites. For example, so one of my favorite parties are Twister Lines for sure. My friends from Parallax, they been doing like really good parties. They mostly do parties not in a club, mostly like warehouses, and
Yeah, I saw on social media they were doing a bunch of stuff in underground Atlanta this summer.
yeah, I love that place actually. Yes, it's a pretty nice spot. Yeah, and District Atlanta is one of my
Hmm.
favorites. I believe Music Hall was one of my favorite venues too, and yeah, I think yeah, it's mostly like I have a couple more, but those are my favorites. And warehouses parties I think are the best because it's a different vibe. It's more like more intimate stuff with for people and music. It's different.
Okay. When you're up on stage, have you had any, I guess, disasters or mistakes that you've had to overcome, and how did you get over those? Uh, Music stopping in the middle of a set, or
Oh hell yeah.
well,
Yes.
tell me about a time that you overcame a major mess up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I hate it, but I think everybody, it happens for everybody. Every DJ has those little troubles with the mixer. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been pressing. Sometimes I press the Q button. Sometimes I load the track in the wrong deck or something. It's bad, but I don't know when I do those mistakes. Um, yeah, I don't know what to do. I just I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm just playing it again, my bad. But not anymore. I think like I'm pretty careful with those mistakes now. And what else? Yeah, I think that's the biggest mistake, like pressing the Q button in the track or on on a set. It's pretty much that. I do I do parties with Rob Session called Ritmo. That's our brand. It's called
Okay.
Ritmo. It's rhythm. And sometimes we are so excited, and then we made some mistakes too with the Q button and stuff. I got some videos. Sometimes I posted like bloopers and stuff. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
It's a good way to use your mistakes to your advantage. I mean, I'm sure everybody likes to see, hey, DJ's a human too. We all make mistakes, and
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
what what would you say when you're working with promoters and venues? What are the most important things to sort of building a good relationship with them so that they'll invite you back?
Um, being punctual, of course, being professional, being prepared, everything being polite, being humble. Things those that's really important. Like don't ever show to them to like you're the best, or you're a big, like you don't, it's pretty much about that. Being humble, being professional, and being prepared, being uh yeah, pretty much being professional and do the things right, because there's a lot of DJs that just take this for fun. They don't take it seriously. So I think it's pretty important to take this seriously and being professional, because there's a lot of DJs who take this professional, and for a DJ to is professional, and other promoters are like giving the chance to other DJs that are not professional, is like you taking us the spot. You know what I mean? You're taking us the yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's some people out there that are not, who may, for example, agree to play for free or something like that because they're not viewing it as a profession. It's more of just a hobby.
Sure.
I guess one of the things that I think a lot of DJs struggle with as they're trying to become more professional is, how do I figure out where do I price myself in the market? How did you go about doing that over time? I mean, how did you initially figure out what you were going to ask when you had a club gig or something like that?
Well, it takes time. For example, I started playing for free too. I think we all did in some day. I started playing for free, and because it's pretty important, like to give yourself a chance to meet meet new people, meet new promoters and stuff. But of course, you gotta start from something. If you're new in the scene and nobody knows you can charge like a lot, because um, promoters and club owners, they of course looking for a DJ who bring a crowd or something, and it's pretty much, and you gotta be talented. I think so. You gotta practice a lot, because there's some DJs like who doesn't practice, and then they been playing, and it's not good. It's not really good. So yeah, if I see a friend that who got potential, who are really into this, and they say to me, they tell me like, bro, I wanna be a really good DJ. I wanna learn, and I'm like, okay, bro, you know what? I'm gonna give you some tips. I'm gonna teach you a little bit of my stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much. But like I say, all of us started from scratch, from playing for free, for drinks, for everything. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're just getting started, your advice is don't, expect to do a few gigs for free in order to get your foot in the door.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, like you need to start like not necessary for free, but you need to start for something, and then when you get more and more practice, um, when you get more skills, you can start like thinking about charging more, or what I'm gonna do with my music. How can I grow up? Because I think it's pretty important to make yourself value. You need to, yeah, it's pretty important to make yourself value, because it's your time, is your music, your money, because you buying good headphones, music. You have your studio. If you're a producer, like you spend time in the studio, you spend money on your monitors, keyboard, whatever. It's our time, so I think it's pretty important to make it value.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things I think that DJs do that adds value is obviously the music selection and figuring out when is the right time to play a specific track. Mixing skills are important, but playing the right track at the right time is really key. What advice can you offer for reading the crowd as you're watching people out there dancing? How do you decide which track to play next?
Well, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good question, because it's pretty important to know about the music selection, and when is the right time to put a banger, or and when is the right time to put a chill song. And people need to rest. Need to take a break of a heartbeat. So I would say, uh, when I read people, I think I'm good reading people. When I see that they are not, they are like, okay, having fun and stuff, then is the right moment to play something different, with a different beat, but something like not chill but not crazy. Then when you're trying to put a banger again, then is the right moment to put it. You will know, because you have to. There's a lot of DJs who just focused on the mixer, and they don't watch the people. And it's pretty important to watch people, like have an interaction with them. You cannot play all the bangers in the set, in your set. You definitely cannot do it. There's a lot of people playing Fisher and Chris Lake in the same set, and like it's pretty fun, but people can get tired of the same bangers. So there's a phrase I heard one time, like you gotta play. You don't have a good DJ. Don't play the music that likes the music that people likes. You gotta play music that they didn't know they were gonna like. You know what I mean? Did I say it good?
Okay. Yeah. You don't just play the things that they hear on the radio. You play things that that they will like.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like people are gonna say like, "Oh wow, this is a pretty nice track."
Yeah, I've never heard it put quite that way, but that makes sense. The DJ is kind of the tastemaker. We bring new music to people, and Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I love remixes so much is that, there's an element of familiarity in the tracks. You recognize the melody, you recognize a hook or something like that, but then it's done in a totally new and interesting way. You talked about starting off in sort of basement parties, and now you do warehouses, you do corporate events. You've done. I think you had a big pool party at the Omni Hotel this summer. That looked like fun. Um,
Yeah.
I saw you also have done a bunch of boat parties. How does that differ from a usual DJ gig when you're performing on a boat?
Okay. I was making those parties with my friend Rob Session,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, it was a vibe for summer. When it's summer, people like to party in the day, go out, and the lake is it's a fun thing to do. So yeah, we were making those boat parties, and playing the boat is different. Like you cannot play, of course, like bangers, like too crazy. It's more like a. I think it's perfect. The Latin tech house is perfect for those vibes. Latin Afro house, those things like very very tropical and stuff. And it's pretty. It's not too different, but of course you gotta read. Like I said before, you gotta read the people and how they reacting with the music, and those kind of lake tropical vibes is perfect with Latin tech house or Afro. Yeah, it's pretty much that.
When you guys were putting those on, how did you go about doing that? Was it just inviting a bunch of friends, or did you post, create a Facebook page and then do paid advertising for it, or how did you promote and sort of walk me through start to finish how you would do a boat party if you were doing another one?
Um. Okay, we have a lot of friends that support us, and it's pretty nice. There's pretty nice people. They're friends. So what we do is sending private text. Like we send the flyer and the invitation. We post it on close friends. Something like we don't make it public because those boat parties we trying to make it more intimate with friends, that people who we knows, only friends, it's and people that we trust, because it's a boat. So it can be dangerous if somebody, I don't know, for example, get drunk or something and they go to the lake, or it can be dangerous, like, or people fighting, or we don't want that. We
Yeah, I
want
was kind of wondering about the liability issue there. But so those were just mostly groups of friends that you guys were throwing parties for.
exactly, yeah. That's why
Okay,
we never post it on public. Yeah.
got it. All right. Okay. Um, you're doing really well. I was looking at your numbers on Spotify, and you've got like almost 6,400 monthly listeners, which is fantastic. How are you? What do you do to promote your Spotify tracks? Are you doing anything? Are you using pre-save campaigns? Is it mostly the labels you're signed to that are helping to promote those, or do you have anything in particular that you're doing that's working well in terms of promoting your Spotify spins?
Well, yeah, the labels, they are in charge to promote the music. If when a label is pretty good, they don't need too much promotion, because the house music labels are different than, for example, hip hop labels. And because a lot of DJs around the world, they've been searching music on Beatport every day. So when a label is really good, it's gonna pop on the Beatport page or track source, so they'll find it. And labels also send those promos before the release. They send the promos to other DJs, and they can play it. And when people are listening to it, they're gonna be like, oh wow, this is a really nice track. They'll try to Shazam, but it's not out yet. So that's a good thing to do, because when I make tracks and I'm playing them on parties, and then some people ask me, okay, hey, what is this track? This is pretty nice. And I was like, yeah, this one of my tracks is not out yet, and people are they're gonna be excited to for the release. And when the release, they're gonna say, oh, I heard this track before, like months ago, and stuff. And that's pretty much what labels do. And me too. I also send my music to DJs, like as a promo, and they say like, hey, this is one of my last work, hope you enjoy it, play it. And they send me videos and stuff, and it's that's the promotion, like playing it live.
You can post pictures of post video of people dancing to your music.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun.
Okay, nice. To what degree is social media important for you? I mean, how much effort do you put in? How much time do you put in? Do you plan things out? What's your social media strategy if you have one?
Yeah, actually, I do have one. It's for example, I post every Monday something. I post something. And every Monday, every Wednesday. I don't try to post on weekends because people are busy on weekends, like going out or something.
Mhm.
And what I do is posting some pictures of me. For example, I post pictures like for people, for interact with people, and they know, for new followers, they know who I am and what I do. And then I post flyers, and then I post music and stuff. I'm always trying to post different things between other posts. Like if I post a picture, I'm not gonna post another picture. I'm gonna post something different, like music or a flyer or something. Is, you know what I mean? It's just different things every day. Not every day, but every post.
Okay,
Just
so
different
so
things.
your stream doesn't look the same. You've got music, video, photo, text. You've got kind of a variety.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I decide like I'm just gonna post whatever I want, and it just like different things, like different. Uh, it just depends on the moment. Sometimes I don't post on Mondays. Sometimes I don't post in a week or something. It just depends what I want to post next.
Yeah. If I don't post in a few days, I always start itching. I feel like I'm failing. I need to I need to post
Me
something.
too. Me too. Yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a big weekend planned. What's sort of looking out a little longer term, the next 3 to 6 months? What's next for Kofla?
The next 3 months, you say? 3 months?
Well, yeah, the next 3 6 months, whatever. What are your plans for your music brand and business?
Oh, okay. Well, the next month, I'm waiting for. I already signed like 6 songs, seven. No, actually like eight. And these next 3 months, they're gonna release everything. So that's what I've been a little bit quiet with my productions, because I'm waiting for the release. It took always like 4 to 6 months, or even eight. That's one of the things I don't like about labels. They take like a lot of time releasing the music, but I think it's a good strategy. And
Okay.
this next 3 months, I'm just trying to be trying to make more music, more stuff for biggest labels, for biggest labels. I don't know. Oh, I'm actually going a lot to Miami, because my vibes they it match more like Miami. So I have a couple of friends, DJ friends in Miami. So I'm traveling mostly, like, I don't know, once per month, something, like go visit, go make some moves, connections and stuff.
Mhm.
And I love Miami. It's a pretty nice place. The music is scene, mostly the tech house scene is big. It's big there. It's I love it. It's amazing there.
I've been there a couple times. It's a fun city, and Yeah. Do you think you might be moving down there eventually because it matches your vibe better, or are you kind of settled in the United? I mean, your family's here in Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah, they are here.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, man. Yeah, I've been thinking of that. Like, I don't think I'm not gonna move to Miami for now. Not in maybe in a long time in the future, maybe. But I love Atlanta, man. I love Atlanta. It's pretty. It's balanced. Like, not too crazy, not too chill. It just I feel like Miami. It can be wild, a little bit wild sometimes. It's a lot going on, but if I move there, of course I would take it like professional. I would do my stuff there, and doing my music, my things over there in a very professional way. But it's a very hard move. It's a very difficult. I gotta think about it. I really gotta think about it. It's a very hard decision.
Yeah, and Miami's an expensive city to live in too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that as well. Of course, it is.
Well, where can my listeners find you and your music?
Sure. So my Instagram, you can find me like Kofla with K, Kofla. Line on the floor. What do you say with the
Underscore?
Underscore? Yeah, Kofla underscore music on Instagram. Spotify like Kofla, and Apple Music Kofla. Just Kofla. Facebook Kofla Music. SoundCloud Kofla as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
You got the brand on lockdown.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will also include links for those in the show notes. And again, I really appreciate your time. This has been an interesting interview, and it sounds like you've got big things going on in the future. And I wish you the best of luck in Atlanta or maybe Miami one day.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hopefully soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening today. I wanted to share a quick actionable marketing tip. Most of you already know that you can pitch a track to Spotify if you have about 10 days before its release date. Amazon Music just launched a similar option, which is available through the Amazon Music for Artists app. Just find it on your app store. Once you load the app and sign in with your artist profile, you can select new releases, and from there you can pitch one new release, ideally the lead single or song from your EP or album. They allow you to pitch up to 14 days after the release date, which is a big difference from Spotify, but I expect you'll have better luck if you do it before the release date. So give it a try and let me know what you think about it and how it goes. This is new for Amazon, so again, if you're pitching it to Spotify, you may as well go ahead and borrow a lot of the same content and pitch it to Amazon as well. You never know what playlist you may get picked up for. As always, I'll have links for everything in the show notes page. Just head over to producerlifepodcast.com and look for episode 87. Until next time, this is the House Ninja reminding you to be somebody's hero today.